Hello everyone, the title of today's episode is Wonders of Transcendental Vision. And I would like to begin by a very interesting quote by Tolkien. And he says, "Not all those who wander are lost." What that means is, do not be worried about your wonder. Do not be worried about where you're heading in this life. All that you needed about worry is to stop feeling sorry about yourself and just take the letters W-O and forget the S. And you would see a wondrous awakening. We are always responding, and there is a natural movement to this design. And as you discover this natural design, whether you want to give omniscience a shape or whether you want to just bask in the clarity, that very clear clarity and empty sense of your fulfillment, regardless of the experience you're having, ability is here. We want to self-explore our dimensions of experience. We want to seek our hidden depths. We want to not break doors, but begin to step out of a house made of cards that we're tired of playing. You must see that everything is showing you how to live, first of all. You can be in nature and learn from just how a leaf falls to the ground everything you need to know. But more than that is how you're aware of the sensation of not a sublime euphoria, but a bliss of clarity where the knowing is beyond what you have been through. Think of how you had problems a year ago and now you're here. Revelation reveals itself. Regardless of how much we are satisfied by verbal flattery, we are not here to be entertained by ideas without seeing through them. We are to become Aristotle's most profoundest confusion that drew his clarity nearer and nearer. We are going to the depths of man's mind. We are finding the voice in the echo. So you must recognize yourself and realize yourself that you have been a human communicator, but now you want to be aware of human communication in a more advanced manner. And what that means is you, my friend, are a pilot of consciousness. This is your plane of existence, and you're navigating every movement and focus of reality with your attention. How you look at the design of that tree can immediately unlock by its very shape and your response to its shape, which is a consideration of another shape, an amorphous movement into an abyss of abstraction which draws out many potentials of clarity. So what that means is, from your subtler planes of reality, you know yourself beyond yourself, and so you're the experience of many selves simultaneously. The house at sea is beginning to see beyond the waves. Candles are lit. Fascination is kind, but there is no haste. For what keeps itself also will begin to see itself let go of what it has kept. You are not here to push away things because they don't mean or they're not truth. They are not. You don't like them. It is not about like or dislike. Because we are beings who want to be present through authentic, natural communication, and to be so clear that when we are really listening to people, they don't have to say we have to listen to them. We are just immediately tuning in. It's as if we are knowing, we're listening to our moment of being. We are going, when they said have faith, what they needed to say is have faith in the moment. The moment will experience itself. You may prepare for the best speech or the worst, or have the visions of the worst speech you're going to give or whatever. But you will begin to see the minute you are on that stage, none of it matters. It all fades. And there, your greatest judge is the novelty that is allowing creation to be communicated. What that means is, I did not see a value in words or even speaking, and for the longest time I was just blabbering. But I remember I was sitting on this rock between a stream, and I was just chanting the mantra Om. And as I was just going, I was observing how that sound was moving manifestation and abstraction, and it was as if an act of creation was taking with itself the eyes of the creator, and it was fascinating. I began to see myself immediately beyond ideology. And this is where clarity comes in the being who has faith in the moment, because the moment is aware of the sound, for the sound is the origination of the moment. Before anyone has called your name, how do you know you're here? But when a part of you knows your calling, that is when you are beyond names. The decision is coming from the Almighty view, which is all that is present in your moment. That is divine, that is sacred, it is untouchable, it is pure. It is pure consciousness. It is pure consciousness. It is an absolute recognition that the drop is never just a drop. The ocean is right there. Your motion is present in this ocean of motion, if I could say playfully. We are here in such vast waves, in such vast ways. That regardless of the ray, some people just like to wear Ray-Ban glasses. A sense of wonder will make transcendence real for you. It's not something someone will say. It is something you will experience in where your life is at this moment, The best advice to any being is that begin to see the inspiration within. Begin to see how the reason you understand what something means is because you have known the meaning. And so if my words are making sense to you, it is because the senses have engaged in a manner where it is now being recognized. What that means is before something becomes conscious, right now many people are saying, oh, I'm conscious and there's an unconscious aspect. Before something becomes more conscious or integrative in your view, it has a certain format and it is being built. So this is perhaps where Mr. Within finds there is the novelty in not an extraterrestrial sense of intelligence, but a sense of when a sense of just dissolution into, how would I say it? It's as if the inspiration of what you, all those thoughts, everything you're becoming aware of, before, as it's traveling from the land of unconscious to your conscious, in its travel, there are realms of attention. What that means is, if you know that moment where on one tile on the sidewalk you saw the ant, you could also see there was so many other tiles, right? So where you are focused as an individuality, there are many collective pathways of how you are acknowledging yourself. So this intelligence is it's as if this wonderful golden ratio going up and down, and we are seeing all the signs in the sine wave, and suddenly our X and Y axis are the single point that begins to originate as there's a spiraling of experience over this ratio. And this is, of course, a very abstract image, but what I mean by it is simply our knowing is transcendental, and so our not knowing is a part of it. Your whole moment is. And if you're considering you're just the body, then the experience based on, based on placebo, the gentleness of our world is the love of man that was always home. We are not having world peace because, oh gosh, plastic bags are destroying, our planet. And why is there plastic bags? Because there's control. And why is there control? Because of this resource and whatever, It's not about creating politics. What that means is at the end of the game, all the chess pieces go back in the box. You begin to realize that your real eyes are beyond how you have acknowledged the most immediate ideas, and a being who chose to be convinced in an infinitely expanding universe seem to be letting go, and it's as if there's less existential responsibility. When you choose to say, oh, this is the only truth, you're not taking responsibility for life, because you're not stepping beyond what that idea is permitting you to see. But if you want to know truth, you must look at the truth within the truth, and there is the emptiness of where each fulfillment could lie. Do not seek heaven because you want to give a certain idea of freedom. Seek heaven, for you have observed everywhere on earth. And you're seeing that transcendental wisdom, transcendental knowledge, is playfully the self-communication that you are as a moment of existence and experience. What that means is when they say namaste, when beings bow to the divinity they see within other beings, they are bowing within the greatness of this world. They are bowing to the greater intelligence that is present. What that means is your fingers have suddenly decided, out of their love for the palm, to allow you to grip through a much profounder intelligence than the world and than the palm and the fingers. Then, do you see? It is not about a psychic phenomena you cannot see. It is about the direct experience of life, and not to play around, but playfully go around. Planets orbit. So does every idea. So does everything that is thrown in duality. Duality is the gravity that allows a dimension to take place, because unity is there is no attraction. You are the experience of all that is being attracted to you in a way where you are all of it. What that means is, in I remember being young and we went to a very nice part of Iran, you know, Isfahan, and there was this structure built by this very phenomenal architect that when you went to one corner of the structure and you whispered something, it would immediately be heard by the other side in such a perfect way, you know. And this architect had also found a way to keep a bathhouse completely warm with one candle based on how he had made, you know, the design of, I guess, the space. But as we went there, I saw that a single word here is being communicated there, immediately. So it's as if every thought I am having, it is not just here in my locality. What that means is I cannot conceive beyond this dimension greater localities, but I know because of location there are greater localities, because there's always a transition out of conscious view, which to you may feel unconscious, but your unconscious is filled. So what that means is you are not in a cage. It's just reality has come to a degree where how you need to confront it is with this intensity and this manifestation of space and time. What that means is just like how you have no, let's say, judgment on how you exist. You're like, of course I can exist. I'm a being, I exist, you know. Similarly, you will begin to find this in any possibility of how something can be real. And so reality becomes more than a projection where you just say it's a holographic projection and you just sit behind some excitement that is not, you know, answering you. We are recognizing that a free being does not need capability. It does not need freedom. It already is able. It is free. You know by naturally being, because then you're aware of all that is being done. Some cannot wait for guidance, and so they forget that sometimes things not being given to you is the greatest gift, because it is telling you of the realities which need to be significant. It's a recalibration. You're looking at it and you're like, whoa, where does this wonder go? And so some children hear the turtle and hare story, that turtle race, and they grow up to be inspired by a different race. But what that means is that moment where thunder in an instant showed itself, that is the ability and efficiency we are seeking. In an instant you're knowing is the coherence that is needed by the beings. Rotating eyes. Of course, be very playful with reality. Be very playful with many things. Because in playfulness, we're not also trying to be careless. We are just allowing reality to happen as it is, rather than just becoming our own tank and just destroying everything in our environment to say, oh, I'm in control, I got this, and whatnot. For there is no great leader if that leader's state of being is also not leading as well. What that means is you must find the grace that is present when you are graceful. And without hindrance, guided by the winds of sincerity, you shall look towards the limitless sky of every act that had been done was a self-reflection of how you were being. I hope this talk has served you. And remember, you are your truth. What that means is trust the meaning you're given, and with a fractalized and integrative mind, look at the nature of all possibility, and even welcome impossibility when it shows itself, and bask in this existential observance of all objects and subjects of observance. Much blessings and namaste.